Well, hello all, it's your Monday recap here. It's been a while since I've been with you. It's been a very busy summer here at Cedar Heights, but I think my summer is starting to slow down, so I hope to be able to be a little more consistent here throughout the rest of the year. So my message yesterday was on prayer. As of now, we have worked our way to the 9th missional objective here at Cedar Heights, which is that we practice spiritual disciplines. Spiritual disciplines are the spiritual exercises that we can participate in to help grow in holiness and to help be transformed into the image of God. Granted, it is the grace of God that has been being given to us that allows us to be able to do these things. We never can divorce any of these spiritual disciplines apart from the grace of God. But given that we're talking about here the process of sanctification, I believe that in that process, we cooperate with the grace of God in order to, if you will, to work in our growth in the Lord. And here in the verse that we discussed yesterday, we talked about drawing near to the throne of grace. And I described that as prayer. Now, I want to give you some practical, or at least one practical suggestion with prayer. Whenever you get ready to pray, my advice to you is to get alone. Any way you can to be alone, whether that is on your back porch or your front porch, whether that's out in the woods, whether that's in your study or in your house, you can be alone, or maybe that's just sitting out in your car, though you'll need to turn on the air here in the summer. But wherever that is, go to a park. Go and be alone, even if you need to come up here into the sanctuary just to be alone. One of the staff members are more than happy to open it up and let you in, and then you can be here as long as you want to in the sanctuary to pray. My first advice is just simply get alone, just you and God. And as I mentioned in my message yesterday, sometimes when we start praying, we may pray for only a few minutes and start running out of things to say. My second encouragement to you is don't feel like you have to always say anything. Sometimes prayer is just simply sitting and being. But that can be difficult for individuals in our culture because we are a busy, noisy culture. We are a culture that is constantly on the go. So it can be difficult to discipline ourselves with the spiritual discipline of prayer. It can be difficult to discipline ourselves to sit down and just focus. So another practical suggestion that I have here is to set a clock. Start off if you need to, if you have a real difficulty just being still and being quiet, maybe start off the clock for 5 minutes. Set it on your watch, set it on your phone, or it's probably best not doing it on your phone if you can set your phone aside. Get some way to get a stop watch to clock just 5 minutes, and you just sit there. And I know you may think, well, then that just seems so robotic and mechanical. It doesn't seem like it's sincere. I'm not staying there the whole time. Well, look, you can stay more than 5 minutes. But if you're trying to discipline yourself, to work into it, setting a clock, I have found in my experience, helps you work into that. And then you can start working up from there to maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, etc. But don't feel like you have to say anything in that time. Sometimes just sitting there and thinking being with God is one of the best things you can do. Okay, and my third piece of advice is to pray through Scripture. So at those times when you don't know what it is that you should say, that's probably some of the best time. Because to be quite honest with you, in the evangelical world, we always think prayer has to be extemporaneous. It just simply has to flow from the heart and head. And if we can't think of it on our own, then it's not sincere. But that is just false. That's not what we see throughout church history. In church history, we see individuals using prayer or praying prayers that have been written out and praying through Scripture. So I want to encourage you, another way that you can pray is to open up your Word. Open up to the Psalms and just start praying through them. And when David says, I, apply it to yourself. When David is saying something, or one of the other psalmists are saying something, just apply that psalm to yourself if they're talking about themselves in the first person. Reaching out to God, drawing near to God, being with God, communing with Him. I think these are good practical ways, things that I have learned and things that I've learned from others to help you in your prayer journey. Okay, so that's this week's Monday recap. I hope you have a great week, and we will see you again on Sunday.